morning, Saturday morning, and yeah, I am at work, but I'm leaving early. I only had to be here for a couple hours today. Last night it snowed. I know, it's April, and lately my posts have been me complaining about snow. Last night we got a sizable amount of snow. I'm not gonna say we got like hammered with a big storm, but where I work, it's about 25 miles south of where I live, and here at work I think there's probably, yeah, there's a good 3 or 4 inches of snow on the ground. At my house I think there's about 6. I'm ready for it to be done, although it is freaking beautiful outside. The snow fell at a time when there was very little wind throughout the night, so it had a chance to accumulate on everything, you know, and stick there. So the trees have a nice layer of snow across the branches, and the bushes do. Even like the weeds on the side of the road have little tufts of snow on them. So with that being said, I have a camera today. This is like my de facto everyday carry bag and kit right now, and that's the Pen F, the 12mm f2 prime, the 17mm f1.8, and today I've got the 45mm f1.8, and it's in the Think Tank Photo Turnstile 10 shoulder bag, sling bag. No other accessories in the bag. I don't bring a flash usually, and I didn't bring any sort of filter setup, which I'm really starting to regret not bringing a filter setup, because I didn't bring one for 2 reasons. Number one is the filter setup that I would bring is the one that I did the review on that Phil Norton makes, that he initially designed an adapter for the 7-14, but I've got the entire Nissi system now, and it comes with step down rings, so I can take that filter holder setup and have it fit a lot of my other Imzuiko lenses. And I left it at home because it was cloudy and nasty out, you know, because it was snowing. And at this point in my drive every day I look that way because there's a big pond full of animals. But anyways, it was cloudy. I didn't think there'd be any use for an ND filter or a graduated ND or a reverse grad or anything really. And then I get out and I'm starting to see blue sky a little bit. The sun popped out and illuminated the parking lot at my work for a minute. And I started thinking, man, you know, do I need to look at some sort of a smaller filter setup that I can easily have with me on a regular basis? What do you think? How often do you shoot with filters? How often do you carry filters around? Most of us, I'm guessing, probably don't do either, you know, carry them or shoot with them. So I kind of want to change that after using the Nissi filter, that reverse graduated neutral density. Man, I'll tell you what, it makes sunrise and sunset photos just explode with color and contrast without any extra work on the photographer's part in regards to post-processing. So yeah, that's just my thought process right now. I'm not taking my usual route home today. It's Saturday. I'm not in a rush to pick up anybody, you know, from school, kids. So I'm just taking a little bit different way. Like I said, it's freaking just gorgeous out right now. It's a little treacherous though. The roads are covered in ice. You know, it's April, so it's warmer than normal, you know, warmer than your normal snowfall temperature, I guess, during the day. So the ground was warm, snow fell, melted as it fell on the ground. Then overnight, the temperature dropped. The stuff that had already fallen and melted froze and then got covered with snow. So it's kind of messy right now, a little bit slick. I don't want to drive too fast to get home. But like I said, I'm taking a little bit what this vlog post will be like or what time it'll post tonight, but there should be some different scenery in it. So sit back and enjoy the ride until the next time you see my mouth moving. See ya. Okay, I literally made it maybe an eighth of a mile down the road before this is the road I came upon, and this is the scene, and I just had to stop and shoot this. It's beautiful. So something I'm gonna do here is your stereotypical center of the road shot, but I'm gonna set my focus all the way out there to infinity, and what I'll end up doing, I'm auto exposure locking and getting my exposure set. There we go. And I'm in manual focus. I focused out there to infinity. I'm just gonna do a panel real quick. So I'm gonna start off with the center of the road in the far right hand side of the frame. I'm a little shaky here. Let me try this again. Here we go. And then pan around. Center of the road, far left. That's it. Two-shot pano. Man, it's gorgeous. It's actually almost overwhelming, the beauty out here. A lot of runoff on the sides of the road. It's like a little stream. Beautiful. Actually, you know what? There, just composed a shot using that drainage ditch on the side. Makes it look like a little creek. And framed it so the road wasn't even in the shot at all. Alright, I'm really turning off the camera for a while now. Just gonna film my drive because it is beautiful, and I'll turn it back on later. See you again.
Don't think I should. You lead me back until lead me to our shrunken me. Slowly splitting until be too bleak and to feel hollow. Be reminded of lucidity so long ago. To keep me happy and keep me happy when I say you'll lead me back. Too far, too far. I'm falling. I'm falling. 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 Too far, too far. I'm falling.
All right, so I've been out all day with my wife. It was awesome. No kids with us, and we just kind of went shopping all day. Went and picked out some furniture, got some clothes, got some lunch, and I didn't even think about photography at all. I think that's good. I think every once in a while you've just gotta turn off that side of yourself, you know, and just enjoy everything else. But then we got home, the sun's getting low, and the itch starts, you know, and I'm just kind of restless, and I'm thinking, man, I haven't really shot too much today. I shot this morning on my drive home from work, and that was it. So I am chasing sunset now. I've got a while before sunset. It's 7:30. I think sunset is a little bit after 8. Got enough time to head out to the barn that I like to shoot. I think that's going to make a good subject. I checked the photographer's ephemeris to find out where the sun was going to be situated this evening when it sets, and I think that that's going to be in a spot that'll work. Yeah, I just gotta get some gas. I'll be right back. Alright, so I said earlier that I checked sunset location with the photographer's ephemeris. So for those of you who aren't familiar with that, I'll talk about that on my drive out here to my location. So the photographer's ephemeris is an app. It's both a mobile device app, so iOS, Android, tablet, phone, or there's a desktop app as well. I don't know if it's on Windows. I'm sure it probably is, but I know for sure it's on the Mac. So what the photographer's ephemeris does is it takes Google Earth and then overlays the path line for sunrise and sunset, moonrise and moonset over the map, so you can see on a map where the sun will come up, where it will set, and the same with the moon. And that's a very basic, generalized description of what the app does. There's more to it than that. It's really detailed. I mean, it'll even tell you, okay, so it gives you the time that it's going to rise and set for both the sun and the moon. You can choose whatever date you want to see the sunrise and sunset on, so you could forecast out a year, 2 years, 10 years, whatever, in advance, a specific sunrise and sunset at a specific location. It gives you the coordinates for where it'll rise and set as well. So I mean, it gives you the azimuth or whatever. I don't know. I'm not thinking coherently right now. Whichever one is up and down. I don't know if that's azimuth or what, but basically you'll have to the exact degree across the horizon and the angle from the horizon at which the sun is going to set, whatever. It's really cool. I use it a lot for planning out sunrise and sunset shoots, for shoots that have a specific geographic target in mind. I mean, if you're just shooting an open field, well, for the most part, something's vibrating in my car. It's going to drive me nuts. So for the most part, if it's an open field, who cares where the sun is going to rise and set, right? I mean, it's not like ultra critical for the most part. But if you have an object of interest, in this case my barn that I like to shoot, or a lighthouse, or a bridge, or even better yet, this can help you figure out if your city has a I hate to use the term, but a hinge. So like you've got Manhattan hinge, or Brooklyn hinge, whatever, I don't know, where you've got a row of buildings and the sun sets right in between that row of buildings, probably once or twice per year. You can help locate when that time frame is, what day that's going to be. If that makes sense. That was really a disconnected train of thought, and it didn't come out the way it was supposed to. But basically, you kind of get the gist of what I'm saying, that it's a really good tool to help you calculate where a sun will rise and set at any given day, and you can base a shoot around it. It took me a long time to say that. So I'll put a link below to where you can get, I'll put a link to the photographer's ephemeris page, and then from there, you can make your way to whichever app, is appropriate for your system. So, yeah. Equipment. What's in my bag? What's in my bags? Plural. I packed heavy today, I guess, whatever. So I've got an EM5 Mark II that's gripped, that is sporting the Zuiko 12-40 f2.8 Pro. And on that, I'm shooting differently than normal for me or most people probably. I've got an IR filter on the front of it. I will explain maybe tomorrow or later on, I don't know why I'm doing that, but you'll see the finished product. And then I've also got an EM1 that's gripped, that has the Zuiko 7-14 millimeter f2.8 Pro, and because it's a sunset and it's going to be probably phenomenal from the looks of things, I brought along that wicked cool filter for the 7-14. I haven't had a chance to shoot with it a lot, so I'm taking advantage of this today. That's about it. I think I'll shut the camera off and turn it back on when I get to my location. Okay, so I'm out here now, and I'm looking at it, and I'm wondering if this is the right spot. I'm gonna have to work with what I've got, because I don't have time to chase down another location for sunset. But the photographer's ephemera shows you this line at which the sun will be setting along, but until you actually get on location, you don't know exactly like how wide the sun will be along that line. So it looked like it intersected with the corner of the barn, but once I get here I see that it's actually going to be just to the left of the barn. So unless I walk out into this field a little ways, I'm probably not going to be able to get the shot that I thought I was going to get. And this is not my property. I prefer not to walk around out in people's fields, you know, without speaking to somebody beforehand. So I'm not going to walk out into their field. That, and to be honest with you, with all the snow that we've gotten and rain, it's muddy, and I don't feel like trudging through someone's field all muddy. You know, I know they haven't planted anything yet, but it's still disrespectful. So I'll honor, you know, their ownership. Oh wow. I'm watching ringneck pheasants run across the road up here. Oh, super cool. The habitat behind me over here, or behind you, that's all part of a Pheasants Forever plot of land, and it is being maintained for to help bring back pheasant populations here in Michigan, so they don't develop this land. And the pheasants that I see, which I know you won't be able to see with this camera, but they're to the left of the barn, in between where the sun and the barn are at. They're on the ground up there. A couple of them ran across the road into that habitat. All right, there, pretty cool. So I'm gonna set up my cameras and stuff and get rocking and rolling here for sunset. Right there, right behind me. Freaking incredible. It was a beautiful sunset. You know, and it wasn't the most dramatic sunset I've ever seen, but I was here, I saw it, you know, I experienced it, and I photographed it, and you know, I spent as much time not shooting it as I did shooting it. Think about that. That is, it's something that I've always thought was a problem that I have sometimes when it comes to photography. You know, like, great example. Last November, Olympus brings, you know, all of the people in the Visionary program together for this big meeting that we do every year. And they always take us to do fun things, you know, like 1 year we went to Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, and we had the place to ourselves, and we just got to explore and shoot. And this last year they took us to New York City for a couple of days, and I'd never been to New York City before that day, before that trip. And I kept thinking to myself, I'm gonna have a million pictures from New York City. I mean, it's freaking New York City. New York City. Huge, full of action, full of people, full of huge tall buildings and interesting architecture, and just the sights and the sounds and the smells were just like, oh my god, I can't even, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it because it's such an exciting experience. And I hardly shot when I was there because I was experiencing it. And, you know, it's something that I've struggled with personally, thinking, you know, that, man, you know, I missed out on the opportunity to shoot this, or I missed out on the opportunity to shoot that. But the more I start thinking about it, the more I realize I didn't miss out on anything. I was there, I experienced it, I was in the moment, and I was enjoying it. And you don't always have to shoot. You know, I did shoot when I was in New York. I didn't shoot a million frames, but I think I have 5 photos that really move me and really speak to my experience. And I'm glad that it worked out that way. And I know I'm long-winded and I seem to go on and on about a subject, but that's what tonight was. You know, I spent as much time enjoying being out there and watching these pheasants fly across the road, and I seen a coyote run across the field in the distance, and watching the sun set and noticing that this cloud off in the distance as the sun was setting behind it, you could see that it was snowing. There was snow coming from that cloud, and I was just absorbed in all of the minutia of the moment, and it feels great, you know. So don't always feel guilty because you didn't shoot if you were enjoying the moment. I don't know. Personal thoughts, I guess, you know, ramblings of Jamie, I suppose. But yeah, I enjoyed it, you know. And what was cool is I went out and did it, and I brought you guys along for the ride. I took a couple of selfies. You know, I do my my back to the camera landscape selfie shots, you know, that I love to do. So look for a new profile photo on Facebook, I guess. Yeah. So that's wrapping up today's vlog. You know, I guess that my talking today was all about the moment. And sometimes you shoot it, sometimes you live in it. If you're lucky, you can do both, but don't ever feel like you have to do both. Just enjoy it. See you guys tomorrow.